I went to an educational technology conference that focused on e-learning. There was a presenter that asked 1,000 people, where do you go if you want to learn something? And almost everybody answered Google first. YouTube was second. YouTube, they said, is especially good if you're doing things with your hands. Like, how do I build a cabinet? How do I play a guitar? How do I do, something that's a hand observation? Things that needed coaching, things that needed, more of a personal experience tend to be more face-to-face. And then things that needed a development of community in addition to learning, very much face-to-face. A lot of people say that, the real value of face-to-face trainings are the hallway conversations and the community building, which I always find interesting. I say, well, isn't the training why you went? And they're like, yeah, but it's the hallway conversations that are the real benefit. I think this points out a concept that we've used a lot over the last few years, which is, let's take a few of the ideas that John has mentioned, that, it is very expensive to do face-to-face, et cetera. I tend to call face-to-face my premium time. And the reason it's premium is for two reasons. One, it's the most expensive. And two is it's when you get the relationships, and that's a very valuable currency. We've gotten to a place where, the world has changed. We are having a lot of online learning. We have a lot of virtual learning. So if you are going to use virtual, make sure you leverage your design in a way that really takes advantage of having the person sitting next to you. And what are the ways that I think that is? Well, one is much more relational in sharing of ideas and actively involved and engaging. And again, this is what a good face-to-face training should look like. And the other thing on this is that we've done some trainings that have won a UK training award, and it was by Plan International, that blended these. And one of the things they pointed out when they blended it is the design of the program was over a period of a year, which is not what all, that's just one way to do a training. You can do them that are over 5 seconds, but we're talking about over a year. They did 11 months of online activities, but the capstone, which is the final activity, was face-to-face. And they did that for two reasons. One is they built these relationships online and built the general ideas already in their heads before they got to their face-to-face, so they could really engage at the end. They knew each other, they knew the concepts, they could really talk about what they were doing. That was one. And two, what's much more pragmatic, which is one of the real problems this organization had is they have a high turnover. And the face-to-face only approach, people had been going to face-to-face and they were losing 20 to 40% of their people before the end of the year, and they had already spent all that money. And so they finished 11 months, they had lost a number of people, but they were investing in the people who stayed. And so I think the question of which is better, look at the list. It really moves, it changes. But I will say, if you do face-to-face, make sure it's premium. And then the last thing I'll say is, look at what we just did. I got so much information from my learners in this chat about you. Dr. Hazem has gotten a lot of information through your survey. You can't get that in a face-to-face workshop. And I've said this in other presentations on this topics, saying when I'm in a face-to-face meeting, I miss my tools that are online. I miss getting the feedback. I miss getting the questions. I miss getting the reactions. It's about how do you make the most out of either one. I know that doesn't answer your question the way you want it to, Dr. Hazem. It doesn't say one is better than the other, but it points out how you should be designing for both.